Alright, so it looks like we're going down the age of the internet where the internet is going to rule over us. No longer will it be the government, it's going to be pretty much corporations. So I know that sounds like conspiracy theory bullcrap, and I know you guys are probably like, oh yeah, whatever, Thievin, I don't even know what you're talking about. Well, the Nelk boys just got demonetized for doing things that weren't even on YouTube. Yeah, they just got demonetized for having parties, and the funny thing about that is YouTube said that it was because they were damaging their ecosystem. Alright, YouTube, let's just be real here. Let's just be real for 5 seconds. Do you really think that the Nelk boys are damaging your ecosystem? I mean, Jake Paul is one of the most problematic YouTubers that actually does harm the ecosystem of YouTube, that actually does make people not respect YouTube as much because he is a huge person on the platform. And yet, as we can see, he is still monetized, and I'm sure that he is in Google's preferred partner program. So I don't really understand what YouTube's point is here. Now look, YouTube can do whatever they want, and I mean, it would be fine if they would hold other creators to the same standard. What I don't like about this and what I don't want to see is that they're just out here completely demonetizing certain people just because they don't bow down to the corporation of YouTube and just because they don't care about what YouTube thinks. And I don't really like Nelk. I don't really think that what they've been doing recently is a good thing whatsoever. I think partying during this whole COVID-19 pandemic is a really stupid idea, but demonetizing them, so essentially silencing them so that they don't have a voice anymore, is pathetic, and it's honestly disgusting. If you're gonna demonetize, do it to everyone else that is also throwing parties, but obviously YouTube isn't gonna do that because everyone else that is also throwing parties is making YouTube too much money. And I want to make it very clear that I do not support these parties, bro. I think that if you throw a party during this whole thing going on, you are a complete idiot. And I mean, if consequences are gonna be faced, consequences are gonna be faced. But YouTube coming in and putting their foot down whenever it has nothing to do with them. They are not the government. They do not have anything to do with this. I mean, what is it affecting YouTube? It's not. If anything, viewership has probably gone up because people don't have anything to do except watch YouTube and watch TV all day because we're in lockdown. I just think that this was a really stupid move on YouTube's part because it really makes everybody kind of dislike YouTube even more. And even though I am not really happy with the way that Nelk has really handled this whole thing because they've been doing a lot of idiotic stuff since the coronavirus first started. I mean, I have to admit, I think that YouTube's handling of this is really stupid, man. I think that it is extremely irresponsible to pretty much tell a creator, oh, now you can't make any money because we don't agree with what you're doing. But if they're going to do that, please hold every other creator to the same standard, and they're not doing that whatsoever. Jake Paul has gone to the same amount of parties, if not more. I mean, he even threw a party for his music video. So why does he get to do that, have that video monetized? Because it is monetized. But as far as I can tell, Nelk did not record any parties, which means that it was not on YouTube's platform whatsoever, but Jake Paul did it directly on YouTube's platform. I mean, this is what I'm talking about corporations really ruling over us and telling us what we can and cannot do. I mean, I just think it's a bit ridiculous. Again, you can disagree with them going to parties, which I do disagree with them going to parties. I think that if they're going to go to parties and they have to face consequences, then so be it. But if those consequences are going to be losing monetization, then YouTube needs to hold every creator to that standard, which they're just simply not doing. Personally, I don't think Nelk really harmed the ecosystem of YouTube whatsoever. Did they do some stupid stuff IRL? Yes, obviously. I do not think that they are the greatest people alive. I actually think they're pretty big douchebags, but do they deserve to lose monetization just because YouTube said so? No, they don't. And honestly, Jake Paul should have lost his monetization years ago, but he still has monetization. The man still is making millions of dollars every year off of YouTube ad revenue. So to be honest, YouTube kind of looks like some hypocrites here, and honestly, I don't think that they should be doing this. I think that they look like a bunch of douchebags. I think they look like pricks. Yeah, sorry Nelk, you guys are demonetized now, bro, and we're not going to demonetize Jake Paul because he makes us literally millions of dollars every single day, probably. I mean, it just goes to show if you make a lot of money on YouTube, you're pretty much untouchable, whereas Nelk, they do make a lot of money on YouTube, but I don't think that they bend down and get down on their knees and take the YouTube pee-pee, if you know what I'm saying. Anyway, I'm going to end off the video there. If you did enjoy this video, make sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. If you do end up subscribing, turn on those post notifications and check out all my other outlets in the description below. I would appreciate it. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and don't be like the Nelk boys and get demonetized by YouTube. And if you do get demonetized by YouTube, stand your ground. Peace.
Smoking on that sicko. I know that you a bitch cause you told your daddy's pistol. Might fly out to Cali for the quick smoke. I got more talent than you in my big toe.